Thank you, Infinite Intelligence. Thank you for joining. So today I want to literally call myself out because the truth is I'm not a perfect person, right? And I'm not always here because it's always you see the thing about me is that I try and I hope I'm audible enough because my voice seems much better. So I hope I'm audible enough. The thing about me is that I try every day. It's always me against myself. Me against myself in the sense that how much better can I express love, right? Doesn't mean every day I pass the test in the sense that some days I feel like I could have done better. Like I had an instance, right, where you haven't seen me online because there have been hardly lights. Electricity here around here has been very challenging and when I'm trying to apply for jobs, right, this electricity issue has been my consideration because there are some occasions where you need to be present, you need to be like at that particular time, right, be on board. And you can't be because you can't even have electricity to come online. And because electricity, right, is very important in every sense. It's with electricity that there's ability to pump water that we can see water to use. So our compound right doesn't have water like that because of electricity, no light. So someone on the drain, sorry, I mean the landlord on the drain, right? Which hardly happens. So it's just that period and I was asked strictly to not allow anybody fetch water, right? I was asked to fetch for 15 minutes because that was just the favor of the landlord. And there was this lady that is a neighbor that lives kind of isolated. Her help, right, was who was helping her fetch water. She feels she comes from Lekki, right? She doesn't know that I've lived in 1004 before for free, right? I didn't grow up having everything, but somehow, I grew up living in 1004 estate. The time of Stella Basunjo, that era, before she knew, it was sold to her, right? 1004 was that place that I called home for 10 years of my life, right? Since I was a baby till I became an adult. I was literally born there. So, no, sorry, till I became 10 years old, not an adult. It was around that 10 years that I left. Then I spent my teenagehood from one house to another and like that. But yeah, I spent most of my childhood in 1004, literally. So my memories are usually from 1004. Sorry to diverse. I'm talking about what happened, right? So I'm just expressing that my neighbor always feels she's so delicate, and I'm not disputing the fact, right? She just built this her space. I actually like how she settled down. It's cool, but I don't think you should assume that other people that having it challenging, they don't deserve, they don't know what it is to have a good life, or they didn't, they didn't grow up in a fancy place. Because I grew up in 1004 and it was fancy when I was there, literally, right? It was that building where had this community that had its ups and downs. I can't really remember so much about it, and that's not what I'm talking about right now. But my point is, I don't, right? I don't know how to use circumstances to judge someone. And just because somebody can afford something presently does not mean that they are above anybody else. Or because somebody can't afford anything just at that moment doesn't mean that they're below. You might think somebody is below or somebody is above, but the truth is love hits itself to bet all that can exist. So it is your own perception of what you think it is. You are the one giving it meaning that somebody is less. There's nobody less, right? So this is me with the truth that there's nobody less. And the help, right, of this lady comes to ask for water from me, that she wants to fetch water. Meanwhile, I've been given a very, very short period to fetch water. And it's not one person in my house, right? I live with plenty people because I'm a squatter, right? And it's my own side of the work to fill everywhere with water. And so I had to struggle to get water at all costs because I'm the one that has all the power, right? The masculine energy. So why not use it? What's the point of having it and being lazy? It's like you have strength and you don't want to use the strength. Don't you think the strength will be taken away from you? It's just like you have the ability to help and you refuse to help. You're just saying that that ability that you have, you don't see it useful. It should be taken away from you. And that's what I understand literally. So when I exercise the strength I have, right, I feel if God can give me strength to move, why don't I move? Right? It's being grateful for having strength, right? That's how I see it. So I was literally fetching water, rushing. I was even literally running with the jerry can to be fast so that I can fetch as much and still see water because people in my house they even don't even care if I see water to use, right? Because I'm the one fetching it, right? But it's not like it's I see it in a negative way because I have come from a place where I have neighbors that helped me the little they could. Not they did the best they could right at that point, and I'm grateful for it. And they turned it into something they would mock me about, right? And it is just failure. But I could never help anybody and mock them for helping them because I would be always to God and to existence grateful to be able to help anybody. Now, if you see your ability to help somebody as your warranty to mock them or abuse them, it's you not seeing that you did not create yourself. Even this air you're breathing, you cannot buy it. And really, people that are wealthy, really bastardly wealthy, they will tell you that this air that you're breathing in, they cannot buy it. No matter how much they have, they cannot pay for one last breath, 15 minutes more of the breath. You can't increase it once it's gone. Right? And this is what many of us take for granted. So there's been a kind of innovation, and I was shifted from a position my bed currently is to where water is. So I'm just hoping that rain doesn't wet my bed. But wherever the case may be, if it wets my bed, I'll put rag. The truth is, I'm complimented most times when people can see that I love to be free. And my free, I love to be myself. I don't, I have no interest in meeting anybody's expectation. Right? I'm not trying to impress you. So I wasn't trying to impress the lady, right? Even though she has been thinking that my working out is probably impressing or whatever. But I wasn't trying to make her feel like I'm a good person or trying to be on her good side because I understand all those is just vagueness because there's really nothing beside it. You can actually be the best kind of person and you will not get that same neutral expression of positivity. You can do good without even getting it back in return. I've lived it, right? I live it so deeply that I understand it like the back of my hand. So me being good is not because you are going to do something to reward my goodness. But it's because that is just who I am naturally. You can see my chest the way it looks like. I'm hoping to get the binder because I need one. And for the longest of time I've been asking and begging for one. But truth is, it doesn't matter, right? I got one binder like for the longest of time, which really helped. I wouldn't lie to you, and that was from my I would say my godfather, a very humble and pure loving human being, right? And that helped me. I would call my father because that was someone that gave me my first support financially to start tea. And that was how I was able to start this my beautiful journey. And in this, I'm always deeply grateful, literally, right? So, yes, let me not go so much from what I'm saying. So, the truth is, I'm grateful to be able to help as much as I can. And I'm always seeking to express love even much more better than I did ever. If I've not expressed love before, right? So yes, I wish I can get teeth to help my chest. But yes, my nose is there, and well, I can't complain because I don't have anything to complain about. I'm even cautious of not complaining because I have a lot to be grateful for. This me that everybody treats like differently, very differently. Right now, when people see me outside, they don't know where I'm coming from, right? And I know where I'm coming from. I know what it feels like to be me. I know what things that people take so hyped doesn't change me at all. Like I'm the least moved. So yes, I know being good is about who I am, not about anybody else or trying to gain something. For me, being good is myself. If I do anything because it's who I am. So if I help you, if I give you, if I offer free graphics as I do, it is because that is who I am to offer free graphics. And my skin usually was always said to be very dry. But being on tea, right, all that dryness that looks like crocodile skin disappeared. The oil that my skin needed internally just became something that happened naturally, and it's made me see how my body was missing it, right? Even without knowing that it could get it. Once it entered, everything became like I don't cream myself, and my skin is the moistest you can ever think of. Like I, it feels like I rub glycerin on my skin. If you know what glycerin is, it's like a greasy. Even after you've rubbed it, it's like it's almost as if it blocks all hair with the greasy stuff, right? That's how my skin feels like without rubbing anything, just being empty. So I'm always grateful. I have a lot of things to be grateful for. My chest has veins on it that I'm still expanding. And once I reach that point of I've expanded it, right, I'm just trying to use binder to shaping how it's appearing. There won't be need to bind again because my chest will have a firm shape. It's already firm, but it's not as tight as I want it to be. I want it to be always stretched and having that vein, right? And the binder would remove all these side fats that it's not really so obvious because it's been reducing. So I'm grateful. The thing is, sometimes I get impatient, right? But the truth is, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the little progress. I swear to God, I'm always grateful for the little progress. So it's in my ADHD mind that's carrying me. So yes, I didn't let this my neighbor fetch, right? And that is something that took a lot for me to decide that I was going to not break that permission because this is someone that said I should. I was giving out. I was giving strict information that I'm fetching for this, and the person could off the water at any time, right? And I was trying to be fast, but it was still not an excuse not to express love because I could have poured my jerry can out for the lady and not let her fetch directly from the tap. So it's not like I allowed her to fetch so that I'm not offending anybody, right? Given the short time I was given. But instead of me giving her water, I just completely said no. That was my first time of saying no, like putting myself first. It wasn't really myself, but it was myself in a way. It was putting my needs first. That's the first time it felt like that because I hardly put my needs first. And so when I cut people off, that was me putting myself first, right? Because I noticed if you don't make me feel comfortable around you, it is your free will, right? But it is also my free will to equally make sure I feel comfortable anywhere I put myself. So I rather put myself in a place where I feel comfortable. And if you are someone that you don't care about me telling you I am not female and you call me female because you think you know me, I think they even have anybody from past, my past that calls me anything that I'm not because I've caught a lot of people out of the books. Like I just keep moving forward, and I love that about me because I know that it's not about anybody but myself. And consciousness is the only reality, seriously. So I like when my I say I love the fact that I didn't feel anything negative, and she stopped talking to me at that point because I wouldn't allow her to fetch. And I said to her face, if you don't talk to me, it will not change anything about me because naturally you and I we are not talking. There's no relationship between us. You don't see me as someone that we can create relationship, and I do not put myself in spaces that does not respect or welcome me, right? I'm just someone that loves to be around people that have positive energy. Like, if you don't like being around me, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable to put you around me, right? So, if you would ignore my presence, what's the point of forcing myself in your space? If I'm not so much important, what should I be disturbing myself in your space about? You should have all the people that are important to you in your space. Only those people that are important to you, right? And I'm happy you do have those kind of people that are important to you. And so I would always want to have people that are important to me in my space. Just the same way you should have only people that are important to you in your space. Because that's what I want for you. So I want the same thing for myself. Because in short, it is because I want only the people that are important to me in my space that I respect your free will. Because I see that it is who is important to you that matters to you at the least. At the bottom line, like there's no point forcing it, right? You will always have what you like. You will always prefer what you like. You will always be smiling when someone that you appreciate is around you compared to someone that you don't think is anything. So why should I be so wicked to put you in my space? It doesn't make sense to me. Like I don't want to punish you. You deserve the best just equally as I deserve the best. So, but the thing is, you cannot say that you deserve the best, right? And another person does not deserve the best. That is you not saying that it is the same energy that gives you life that gives that one life. So, and everything deserves the best. So, that is how I see it, literally. And the way I see it makes it easy for me to want everybody to have the best. But the end of the day is that I stopped fetching after I had filled my house to a point where I felt could be managed, right? And told her that she should fetch because I didn't like the fact that she didn't have to fetch, right? And it wasn't like I didn't want her to fetch at all, but I hadn't just fetched at all. I had not, there was no water, no drop of water in my house, and I had to consider the fact that I was not representing myself alone. Like this time around, it wasn't just about only me. I'm very sure that if I didn't have so many people that depended on my providing water, right? If it was just me, myself, and I would have like, okay, fetch water because water is the most least thing that I feel should be given freely. Like after water, it's food, right? And and so I feel if you can't give simple water, why how could you give much more than that? Right. So I'm usually a giver. But that day I felt I could have done better, right? Even though I eventually allowed her to fetch. It's not about the aftermath, it's about that instant of saying no. I felt I could have. expressed love, because for me it is important to express love at every point, every interaction. So that present interaction of me putting myself first, I felt if I was responsible for getting water for only my personal use, I would have at least, right, shared. But it was more like I was giving orders, and I didn't want the person that I was giving orders to feel somehow. I guess at that point, maybe I put other people first instead of myself, right? In the sense that it's kind of confusing. I can't really say it's confusing, but I feel I did what was honest at that point, right? And what was honest at that point was not to be hypocritical, that I did not have need for water, even though later brought the light, and the whole point of that drama didn't make sense because it's just there was no electricity for the water to get pumped. So the panic of how would you get water was what was everywhere. And I'm not the only one in my house, right? So everybody was like, get water, get water, get water on my head. And because it's my rule or my job, right? In the sense that it's something I love to do, because I use that period to work out in time span during the period of waiting for the water to get filled. I work out. I used Atomic Habits, right? I went to a gym today to check out the facilities for the first time in how many years. Someone wanted to register for a gym because I keep working out, so it kind of encouraged them or influenced them to want to join a gym by all cost. And my working out, right, without a gym influences people to work out with gyms. You can see the influence. I actually like the fact that it's something that happened, because it kind of encouraged me that going to the gym, right, seeing someone that has gym access, and we're almost looking alike. If not, I was looking bigger than them, right? Because most times I don't like to put myself. I'm not in a competition with anybody, so I don't think I'm bigger than anybody, literally, or physically, muscularly, right? It seems that my hand was larger, and I've not even started working out in the gym. Like I feel that like when I start working out in the gym, that's when I really started working out. Like all this working out I'm doing, I just feel it's like warm up, like getting ready, preparing to work out. Literally, I feel when have my own gym set, that's when I start really working out. So that's why I keep saying I just started to grow, because I don't have. It doesn't mean that all this work I'm putting in is not showing. You can see that I don't look like the way I was looking. For some reason, my throat just has this dry feeling to it, and I always have to shake my head to release the tension in my neck. So, what I can say is, I'm happy that in everything I learned that there were positive options I could have carried out, like turning my jerry can for hot to fetch water, which was there, and I learned well. And I'm still learning to be a good person. I think the truth of it is every day I learn to be a good person in the best way I can. to the best of my ability with my sincere heart. I do it as much as I can with all sincerity, knowing that love that we all exist with him always listens. Right? So my face is oily because the heat. There haven't been lights for a while. And so literally everywhere I've been hot. I was literally sleeping on the floor, literally, to help cool the heat. Sorry about this yawning. It's quite late here. And so thank you very much for listening and watching through to this point. The truth is love would always help. Love is why we help. Love is why we do anything positive at all. So even if we're searching for stability, whatever it is, as long as it is positive, it is an expression of love, literally. So yes, love would always help. That is why I always seek to express love, right? That positive energy in every interaction. And one thing I would say is if you don't put yourself first, it's not like it's a negative thing, honestly, because I learned there is nothing negative about putting yourself first, honestly, because it is true you. If you're not alive, other things around you cannot exist. And this is the lesson I've gotten to learn, and I've learned it in a challenging way, right? Because for the longest time, I always put other people's feeling right before mine, and like I said, they didn't really send my papa, right? And people always act based on who they are, so I stopped trying to see my actions change anything. I just make sure that my actions express my true state of pure love, who I am, how I would always express love, how I would always do something positive because I'm love. So I'm very grateful that I can be positive energy, and I'm grateful to God that positivity can exist because love is everything positive. And the truth is, I'm only growing to learn to love better, to be better. It's always my desire to be a better person than I can ever be every day of my life. So every day, even if I don't get it right today, tomorrow I'll keep trying. And I just started growing. Today is my fresh start. So do not think that what you see now is anything but my fresh start. Because this you see right now is my very beginning, literally. So there's a lot to see, there's a lot to come, and thank you very much.